and obviously a good review on it, which is good for the future of the franchise.
I don't know.
And there was one more. Oh, Fantastic Four. If anybody's interested, comes out Friday. That's all I got.
Okay,
Yeah,
can I jump in first with the Dragon Ball without spoiling it? I will say that visually, this is the best Dragon Ball Z movie to date, hands down. However,
Visually, yeah, but
but there's
let's hear the rest of that.
it's as good as it looks. There were some things in terms of the story that I felt might have been a bit rushed. There was some key things that make it Dragon Ball, like characters that you don't see, you know. And in terms of the action, the fluidity of the movement, because there was a lot of 3D that you saw in Battle of Gods 1, where Beerus and Goku were fighting. There's a lot more of that in this one, you know. There's a lot of kung fu, a lot of real style movements in it, and it kind of takes away from the traditional speed over the top Dragon Ball fighting. You know, they do have it in there, you know, with Golden Frieza and a certain conflict. I'm not gonna spoil a twist at the end, but it's something to the effect where they got to remember, don't stray away from the formula that attracts the Dragon Ball fans, because when I left the theater, a lot of folks are like, yeah, it looked great, you know. However, it's like they felt it was too slow on some segments. Speed up that animation and I think it would have been cool, but I give it a B+. It's very good, and the US version had a lot of rock and roll, heavy metal during the fighting and stuff.
Actually, you know what? The Japanese actually had its rock and roll type in there as well.
Oh, their own version. Like, you know, when Goku was fighting Beerus in the first one, that theme song that you heard, that was pretty cool. Like,
was cool.
Yeah, but there were some things about the first fight with Beerus that were better than the second film. But the second film did some things that the first one just only touched on. You know, so I highly suggest checking it out.
And just my last piece with that, with you know, the unanswered questions that people may have for Battle of Gods. Dragon Ball Super will be elaborating and dwelling on those questions.
Yeah, it's like the prequel to the movies. So
well, not a prequel. It's the same story, just a retelling, a reimaging.
Yeah, well, technically, like
we had a movie last year for Dragon Ball that explained how Goku gets the blue hair.
Well, the Dragon that's gonna be Dragon Ball Super, isn't it?
That's Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah,
right?
that's the filler, the stuff that explains how him.
They made a whole movie already. That's what.
No, they didn't. No, they
didn't. Did. We watched Goku become Super Saiyan God by the Super Saiyans giving him the power.
That's the first one. The second one.
No. That's Battle of Gods. That's just the Super Saiyan God mode.
Yeah, the new base mode.
Right. That's the base form. But the blue hair, which was introduced in Resurrection of F, there was no explanation. And they said that in the actual thing is like it's basically a long story. So you'll see that play out in Dragon Ball Super, which is airing now in Japan.
But you know what? The error with that, I would have waited for the series to come out, because it's just like now you're gonna expect it in the series. Like, okay, this is how he did it. Like, you know, you lose the whole wow factor. Like when I first saw Gohan go Super Saiyan 2, I never knew what it looked like. When Goku went Super Saiyan 3, I didn't know what the form looked like, and I was just like, oh man, I was souped up for it. You know, now you're gonna be expecting it.
But to counter that, what somebody said in a forum that I was reading today, they made a good point. Do we always want to see a character hit that new level in the middle of a fight just like that? It's like, okay, I'm getting beat up. I'm about to reach this power level. We've seen that already. We've seen that with Gohan. Even with Goku going level 3. And I'm just gonna finish my point off. When he went against Buu, he already had reached level 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Through his training, but we've seen him transform, which he already did before, obviously. But with Resurrection of F, it was like, okay, boom, blue hair. We already know these guys achieved it. That's great. Honestly, I don't need an explanation. It looks cool. I'll get the explanation later in Dragon Ball Super. And I think that's the point of Super. Obviously, it gives Akira Toriyama more reason, to put these characters out there and stretch the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it has its place, and that'll give us the backdrop and have us watching Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, well, I think that was strategically done so
Right.
that
Exactly.
it's gonna be DVD sales and all that other stuff once the English version comes out. For you're gonna buy it.